Yes, we are live, guys. We are live. Hello, guys. Good afternoon. You're welcome back to my channel. My name is Olivia. If you just see me for oh my God, this is Summer. Sorry, I just saw a fly. If you're just seeing me for the first time, thank you. Welcome. I'm a Nigerian who lives here in South Africa with my family, and I make various contents. So let's quickly check if we are live. Let me just check. Oh my God. What is this? I'm 22. No. What's going on here? Okay. I don't think we are live. Oh. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Forgive me. I don't know what goes on this stream yard. Sometimes can be very baffling. Yes, but we are live now. For a minute, I thought we were not live. So we are live now. Hello, guys. Let me start the intro again. Hello, guys. Good afternoon. You're welcome back to our channel. My name is Olivia. If you just see me for the first time, thank you, welcome. I'm a Nigerian who lives here in South Africa with my family, and I make various content. I'm sure you will like it here. As you're joining the live, please give us a thumbs up, or if you get to watch it at the playback, give us a thumbs up and share the video, comment, share your thoughts, okay? So because I want someone to join, I'll just put the link immediately. So let me just put the link on the so you can join. Beauty, I'm just pasting the link so you can join. Okay, use the link to come in. So welcome, guys. Welcome. Thank you everyone for joining. Hope everyone is doing well. We are here in summer. We are now in summer in South Africa, and yeah, everything that comes with summer. Please give this video a thumbs up. Okay, my name is Olivia, and let's go right ahead. So, guys, in today's video, we want to talk about the hospital train in South Africa. How many of you guys know that South Africa actually has a hospital train, like a hospital, a mobile hospital? I'll just put it that way for lack of a better word. So let me just play this video before I go into what I want to say. I don't know how to send it directly to StreamYard, so let's just play it.
This is Pepper, South Africa's hospital train. Most people here rely on public health services, which are overstretched and often hard to access. So the train takes affordable healthcare across the country. Today, it's pulled up in Soweto, and hundreds of people have come for treatment. On board, there's a general clinic and a pharmacy. There's a dental clinic, which does teeth cleaning, fillings, and removals. I don't like the way I smile. My teeth are dirty, so that is why I'm here today to come and clean my teeth. It's much cheaper than when I go to the dentist. People can get their eyes tested and buy glasses for less than $2. And there's also a mental health clinic. We do counseling based on their different problems that we can cover, from GBV, substance abuse, bereavement, emotional problems. There are two 18-coach hospital trains which travel to far-flung communities across South Africa for 10 months of the year. Its funding mostly comes from the rail company Transnet. Hectic. It is extremely hectic. The service started just 3 carriages in 1994, but last year it brought care to over 600,000 people. Bringing smiles, when people leave, they're like, thank you very much. Now and I'm happier. This is Pepper, South Africa's hospital train.
Okay, guys. Yeah. Hi, Beauty. Welcome.
Hi,
Thank you for
Olivia.
joining.
How are you?
Fine.
I don't know.
Thank you for
I don't know.
joining.
Should I use my phone? I'm using the.
No, it's fine. You're audible. You're audible, and you're being seen, so it's perfect. But looks like your network is kind of jumping, kind of. But we can see you now. Yeah. Sorry.
but it's not like the quality, the
No, but
image
it's fine.
quality.
It's fine. Don't worry. We'll fix it backstage later in case of next time. But it's okay. Do you have your ring light on? No, it doesn't matter anyway. So welcome, guys. Okay. Beauty. This is Beauty's Eden. She's also a YouTuber here in South Africa, and she is a Nigerian. So Beauty is joining me. She's been my co-host today on this one. Welcome, Beauty's Eden. Welcome, Beauty. Can you hear me? Just focus on one device, okay? Can you hear me? I said welcome.
I can hear you, host. I can hear you. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
All
Just
right,
leave
right.
leave your phone and focus on the laptop, okay? So,
All
do
right
you
then.
know about the hospital train in South Africa? Beauty. Have you heard
No,
of that before? You've not heard of that? Okay. I think there's a playback. I think there's a delay, maybe the network or something. All right. So the essence of this video today is to explain and okay, I was just almost times I get inspiration for my videos on social media, and I just want to play it again so that in case somebody did not get that, Beauty, just be attentive, okay? So I can play this video again.
This is Color Pepper, South Africa's hospital train.
Oh,
Most people here
she
rely on
jumped out
public health
again.
services, which are overstretched and often hard to access. So the train takes affordable
Okay, we'll
healthcare.
play it when she comes back. So guys, apparently, South Africa has a mobile train that is a hospital. Like that's mind-boggling. One of my shots it's not really a shot, but I got a shot from it. It's a video that I made about South Africa being one of the best African countries, and a lot of people disagree with me on that. But I just want to it depends on the aspect of life that you see things. For me, I feel as though that healthcare is one of humans' primary need, and any country that caters to the healthcare of their citizens, I mean, you warm my heart. So because I'm close to someone that is a health personnel in this country, my husband being a health personnel, I know how South Africans take their health care, the healthcare needs of the citizens as opposed to all other African countries that I know. Of course, I'm in Nigeria. I know very well about Nigeria, where I come from, and I also know very well about South Africa, where I live. So when I talk about healthcare in South Africa, I have I have a good information, both public healthcare and private healthcare. But this particular trend now is, of course, is a public healthcare. Apparently what happens is that if you're on the live stream, please contribute. Do you guys know about the hospital train? I just learned of it. I've never had heard it before. And there are two hospital trains that tour the whole of South Africa, apparently, from for 10 months. So I think if I know South Africa, I know that maybe in January and December the hospital trains will not be touring the country, but the rest of the months of the year, the hospital train will be touring the country. And what the hospital train does is that they stop in a particular location where I don't know if there's any way that healthcare is not really accessible in South Africa. I doubt, but South Africa, I would say you guys are kind of, you guys are being pampered, which is good. It's a good thing because kind of they bring it closer to the people. They bring this care to the people, and what they do is they stop somewhere and people come and access medical care, both dentist care, both eye checks, and they get glasses that are very very affordable. $2. How much is $2 in South Africa? Equivalent of $2, and definitely less than 100 rand. And okay, let me add beauty again. And even mental evaluation. Okay, you're back. Can you hear?
Yes. Yes, I
Okay,
can hear you.
that's better. So as we are saying, I was trying to play this for you since you say you've not heard about the
Yeah.
hospital train. So we'll take it up from there. Then
All
you
right.
tell me what you know about it.
All right.
Pepper, South Africa's hospital train. Most people here rely on public health services, which are overstretched and often hard to access. so the train takes affordable healthcare across the country. Today, it's pulled up in Soweto, and hundreds of people have come for treatment. On board, there's a general clinic and a pharmacy. There's a dental clinic, which does teeth cleaning, fillings, and removals. I don't like the way I smile. My teeth are dirty, so that is why I'm here today to come and clean my teeth. It's much cheaper than when I go to the dentist. People can get their eyes tested and buy glasses for less than $2. And there's also a mental health clinic. We do counseling based on their different problems that we can canvas from GBV, substance abuse, bereavement, emotional problems. There are two 18-coach hospital trains which travel to far-flung communities across South Africa for 10 months of the year. Its funding mostly comes from the rail company Transnet. Hectic. It is extremely hectic. The service started with just 3 carriages in 1994, but last year it brought care to over 600,000 people. Bringing smiles, when people leave, they're like, oh, thank you very much, I can smile now and I'm happier. This is Pepper, South Africa's hospital train.
So did you get that? Beauty.
Yes, I
Hi,
do. Yes, I do.
he said sorry. Like somebody said, I remember a Nigerian lady couldn't believe that South African hospital will give patients food. Why would they not believe that? Like patients, you give patients food and snacks and fruits again. So yeah. So what do you think, Beauty? Do you
I
understand
think
the
yes, I do. I do. But I think it's really brilliant. I feel like it's a brilliant concept, and it's one of the many ways that the South African government or the NGO, sometimes some of these things are set up by NGOs as well.
yeah.
It's one of the many ways the government and the NGOs try to bring the dividends of democracy to the ordinary people. So it's quite commendable.
For me, I feel I was saying before you left, is there really a town or a village in South Africa where medical care is not accessible? I doubt, because I know that I've been to some. Do you know? I doubt. Okay, say what you
I,
want to
I
say.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think even the most remote communities have access to basic health care. They do
Yes,
actually. Yes.
because you know how this medical system in this country works. It starts from the clinic system. From clinic,
Yes.
then you see the level 1 hospital. From the level,
Yes.
yeah, from clinics you see the level 1 hospital, then you see
Yes.
the level 2 hospital, then you see the level 3 hospital. So definitely there are GPs all over the country, but apart from GPs, the government hospitals are clinics. The clinic is
Yes.
the local health care, the community. Okay, I'll call it community health care. We used to have it in
Yes.
Nigeria. Do you remember those days? But they no longer exist.
Yes. They still do. They still
At,
do.
at least in my state, they no longer exist.
No,
Um,
but that's like the first point of call to every healthcare sector. So I feel
yeah,
like every community ought to have it's not I feel like it's not negotiable. Every community ought
it's
to have a
not.
community
It's
health
supposed
center.
to be. There are two different things, that what is supposed to be and what it is.
Oh,
It
really?
used to be there. It used to be there,
Oh,
and it
okay.
should be non-negotiable. But at this point in time, we no longer. We used to call it community health care. Then
Health centers.
community health
Oh,
centers.
okay.
God bless.
But
Health centers.
I know a few communities in Lagos, that
We're talking about
are
Lagos.
rural.
Lagos is one of the
No,
biggest cities in Nigeria.
no, I'm not talking about like this city center. I'm talking
No,
the remote, the outskirts, the remote
Lagos
villages
State
within
is
Lagos
like
State.
talking about Lagos State is an early state in if there's something like that,
Okay,
We
okay.
are talking
I
about the
agree.
ordinary state that is not Lagos or Abuja or Port Harcourt.
Really,
And now states like
it will be really okay. So how then do the people in the rural area out in states outside Lagos get basic health care?
that's the
How do they?
problem now. That's why I keep on talking about how unique the system of South Africa is. Of course, this video is not, disclaimer, not to bash Nigeria,
Yes,
or
yes, yes,
not to
absolutely,
talk badly about
absolutely.
Nigeria, or neither is it about talking badly about South Africa. But these kind of videos bring lessons where people, if the
Exactly.
government, they are all in the internet space. If for some reason they don't see things, or they don't know what is obtainable in other countries, some of these videos,
Mm.
so that if someone is in the House of Assembly tomorrow, you can pass a bill that can say, okay, let's have this. So and so country has this and this. Hey, hi,
Yeah.
Etel. Etel says, hi, Olivia. Still in spring. Yes, we are. Okay, we are still in spring. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
It's
So,
spring, but the weather lately has been, it's not been springing. The weather has been, it's almost been like a winter kind of weather, you know.
yeah, it's a
Because we
story
haven't
for
had
another
any
day.
rain. I don't know about you guys, but we haven't had any rains. It's not, we haven't
No,
had
we've
any
not had
rain.
rains as well. So someone is on the studio. Hi, PH. How are you? Thank you for joining. Can you hear
Hi,
us?
Olivia and guest. I think guest will be beauty, right?
Yes,
Yes,
that's
please.
beautiful.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you for
hi,
coming.
hi, hi, ladies.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you. Hi.
joining.
How are
Yeah,
you?
you're calling from South Africa, right?
No, no, yes,
Okay.
I wouldn't be
What do you
anywhere
have to
else,
say about
Olivia.
what we are talking about? Do you have any contribution?
Olivia, it's just out of curiosity, you guys. I'm assuming both of you are Nigerian, right?
Yes, no, not
Yes.
assuming we are.
No,
Yes,
no, it's an assumption because I don't
I
know
know.
about
Mm.
beauty.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
she's
So
from
I wanted, just out of curiosity, because we are learning, right? We are
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah.
Um, what's the tax payment in Nigeria? What's happening? What tax funding and things like that? Because every time I listen to different channels, right? Hosts and things like that, they're forever amazed that certain things are done, for certain populations and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And I ask this, like, is there really money in the sense of, can these services be provided to Nigerians, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so
Oh,
answering, I know taxing is a bit abstract from what we are discussing.
mm.
However, I will kind of link it together in the sense that you're probably trying to say that it could be from taxpayers' money that this kind of things could be achieved, right? Am I correct?
Certain,
Yes. Yes.
certain, because
Yes.
this flows from taxes, really.
Yes, okay. So I will tell you that my mom, I have both parents, one was a civil servant and one was not. So I will talk from my parent that was a civil servant, my mom. She was a civil servant, she was a teacher till she retired. So in the civil service sector, they are being taxed, okay? They get taxed. Um in private sectors, like those that work in the bank, beauty, do you know that much? They are also
Yes.
being taxed.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Those that
I
do
think
business,
basically, sorry to interject, Oli. Um, everyone who has gainful employment in Nigeria get taxed. It's the
yes.
same thing. It's the same thing here and world over.
Yeah.
So they do get taxed. But the problem is that taxpayers' money do not go in the direction that it ought to go to. Do you get what I
That's
mean?
that's
So
the
yeah.
first problem. And is not with us, but VAT is not a thing. Value added tax, when you shop in the stores and all your items are being, you remember how you shop from Woolworths or Edgar's or wherever, and you see VAT
Mhm.
or even the smallest of
Yes.
or pep or anything. Okay, and PH, if you can hear us, so that one is the one that has not been implemented yet,
You
to
see,
the best of
that's,
my
I think,
knowledge.
yeah, because you know what I think.
Yeah.
Generally, what comes across with my interaction with the majority of Africans, right? Meaning non-South Africans, is that really there is lack of education in as far as paying for services. You understand? Most then the majority of Africans don't know taxes, because I vet, obviously there it's kind of like compulsory because you're buying something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember, and I'll give you an example, right? When I started working, right?
Yeah.
And I explained to my parents, because you get excited, you are told your cost to company and all sorts of things. You share
Yeah.
this with your family, right? And then I remember, explaining to them at the end of the month that, oh no, actually my net going home income is actually, they say, like, what? You see what I
Yes.
mean?
After
They're like,
tax.
what? Such a huge chunk of your money. I mean, this is half of what you're earning. What is this tax all about, and all sorts of things, right? But
Yeah.
my interaction also, I then realized that when you look at the continent of Africa per se,
Yeah.
the paying for service principle is not really in us. And by us, I mean Africans, right?
Okay.
Without really an exclusion, right?
Yeah,
And
I
and this
understand.
principle, the reality of it, Olivia and
Hmm.
Beauty, is that there is no first world country where there aren't huge taxes. It
Hmm.
seems like
Hmm.
we Africans, we have this belief that these things somehow just pop out of nowhere. you know
Oh,
People
Yeah.
are being
okay. Yeah,
taxed.
I agree. I agree. Yes.
People are being
You're correct.
taxed.
It's the
you know
mentality of the people
there
sometimes.
is that mentality. And today I don't want to be, I'm talking in general terms
Yeah.
for continent. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
even, what, people my age, when we entered the workplace and things like that, we were shocked. I mean, for somebody who's paying rates and taxes, for several properties, I'm
Properties. Yeah.
like, why am I even paying these taxes? In
Yeah.
addition to that, in addition to your pay as you earn, in addition to, you see what I mean? And I
Yeah.
realized,
Hmm.
especially within Africa, we've got an issue, people. We need
Hmm.
civil education. We need to understand that it's not manna from heaven, you know?
Sometimes we also get entitled,
There's an
PH.
entitlement.
Yeah, but
There's
however,
definitely.
one thing about, sorry, let me interject a little. When it comes to Africa, you look at the country and the resources that are available to them naturally or something. I'll just use again Nigeria as an instance. Nigeria is a country that has huge natural resources, both tapped and untapped. So a country like that, as much as tax should, of course, I'm someone that likes to pay for services. We should be taxed. We should be taxed as much as required. However, tax should be accounted for properly, which is one of the problems we
Hmm.
have. We
Hmm.
have. Do you understand? That's
Exactly.
what I
Exactly.
allegedly
That's
allegedly.
PH. The bottom line of, sorry to interrupt, but just to buttress on what you're trying to say, Ollie.
Yeah.
PH, the bottom line of everything we're trying to say here is that our leaders, especially in Nigeria, because of course we're from Nigeria, and I don't know too much about other African countries except for South Africa that I've lived in for over a decade now at this point. But the
Yeah.
major problem the Nigerian government has is the issue of corruption. It has eaten so deeply into the system to the point where, something as basic as this, you see these basic human, these basic needs that you're talking about that often gets the average Nigerian you've seen on the internet amused or amazed, is what should naturally go to the common man. But because they do not see it, they're not used to it, they never experienced it, or they hardly ever did, if at all, is because of the decadence, in the Nigerian governing system. So issue, they do get taxed, of course they do. But what do they do with taxpayers' money? Do the average Nigerian get service delivery? Those are the questions. Those are the
Yeah,
major issues we have. So
I
that's
know
why
that.
so that's why
Yeah.
when some Nigerians come to like a more structured environment, they get amazed at certain things that they see. That's because it's not available to them where they're coming from.
Thank
You
you.
can go on.
Then I thank you so much for that explanation. I take it and I understand it. Then, the shock, right? The shock of the majority of Africans when they arrive in South Africa, right? Is that now with us. And, that's where I differ with the majority of people when they say skin tone should be used as a factor, in as far as commonality is concerned, right? Because
Yeah.
I think my lived experience, right? My social standing, whatever, whether poor, whether middle class, whether considered whatever category that is, right?
Yeah.
It's actually it pushes me to get along mostly or understand my people in as far as where my social standing is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you then you will find that when other Africans arrive in South Africa is that there's this standard that South Africans have, right? Expectation, let me put it that way, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
no. Certain things, no. I'm expecting that at a clinic, medication should be available, things
Yeah.
like that. No. I
Yeah.
cannot have load shedding. No. I cannot have water shedding and all sorts of things, right? There's that level of understanding within South Africans. Then you then get an African who comes in contact with this South African, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
obviously now the conversation becomes, oh, you South Africans, you are just having it easy. You are pampered, which
You're
I'm
feeling
borrowing from
entitled.
entitlement. You see what I mean? And then because of that, now the environment becomes fertile for lowering of a standard. You see what I mean? You see, this is where the whole we are different comes into place. Because now, if people come with the mindset that, oh, no, first time I see a tar road, first time I see that actually there's a school feeding scheme, for those schools that are whose parents are unable to pay, right? So that they can have a meal. And then you come with the idea that no. This is this and this. Even politicians actually now start relaxing, eh? They start relaxing and
So,
saying, oh no.
sorry, PH, just to quickly also contribute to what you're saying. I remember when I was growing up in the 80s in
God
primary
bless. I
school.
actually wanted to say that.
Yes, in the 80s
Those
in
kids,
primary
we
school.
are there.
I swear, that's exactly what I was trying to say. PH, you see, everything we're going through right now and our struggles as a country and as a people is not what it used to be. I must let you know. You see, everything you guys have going on right now in South Africa is everything we used to have in Nigeria.
Remember. Even the
But
steady
the system,
electricity, the good roads, the
everything. We had everything. We've always been travelers, right? We always used to travel as a people because I think that's how we're generally wired. But then, mostly, if I remember, our people would travel mostly to go study and they will come back home. It-
can I tell you that in 1980 my dad came back from France. He was sent to France to
to
do
work,
his university.
yes,
Yeah, no, do
yes.
his university by Nigerian government.
Government, you see, I'm
With federal
scholarship, yes,
scholarship. And he
yes,
finished. And he came
you
back
see,
to Nigeria in 19. My dad is alive today. In 1980
yes.
to do his NYSC. And all
You
the
see,
standards, you need to see my dad telling you that France, all the Nigerian students, they came back. You know how South Africans used to go? They used to, at which country? I think Ukraine or which other country where they studied medicine. I think South
Cuba,
Africans, they
Russia,
go
Cuba, Cuba,
Russia and
Cuba,
Cuba.
yes.
Cuba.
They go and study medicine and they come back. Now, South Africans, they go and study in China, they go and study all this tech, they come back. It used to be the order of the day. in Nigeria those days, because we used to tell my dad, Daddy, why did you come back to Nigeria? He's like, Nigeria, Nigerian's currency was higher than the British pound then.
It
So
was one naira to $1. $1 in the early 80s.
exactly then in
It
the
was
80s,
$1, so there was no need to travel. There was no need to live
and there
anywhere
was no
outside
need
of
to
Nigeria.
remain there. Yes. When you
Yes.
go, my dad studied agro business management. He went and studied in France, and he came back to Nigeria.
It was one
So
naira,
the point,
$1. So it's
yeah. So when we are talking about, sometimes, as much as the Gen Zs now may not, if you and I were a Gen Z, we wouldn't know these things, you remember. But it's because we are millennials, we already saw
yes,
a glimpse
yes,
of it
yes,
while we are growing up.
yes,
We saw all those, all those kind of, some kind of standard of living.
yes. Like even the meal ticket for primary school learners, elementary school learners, PH, we used to have meal tickets, that the government used to give food, free food. And they were well done, well packaged, and they'll bring them into the class during the break time. And every child, will have a meal. These were norms in Nigeria back in the day.
But
Interesting.
what's happened? That's why the average Nigerian cries, and
It's
it seems as if they are.
misappropriation of funds, misappropriation of public funds. The corruption within the governing body, within the governing system, has eaten so deep into the society, to the point where we've come to a Pluto as a people. We've come to a point where, okay, is this how it goes? Okay, we accept it. So what's the way forward now? The average Nigerian thinks of a way forward and thinks of, how to fend for himself and his household, and how to better his life and that of his family members without having to depend on the government.
So, PH, what's your take on what we just said? You were saying
No,
something
but
before we
I
interjected.
do that one historically. I understand the facts. You know, gee, the African issue is so difficult. It is
Mm.
really, really difficult, and
Pitiable.
it's a difficult one. The question is this, like I always say, um, just my own personal belief, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm, there is a time, and I've noticed, if even in each family, right, there will always be a generation that needs to put itself forward, right, and say, unfortunately, because of my circumstances, right,
Mm.
in order to turn the tide against, what is currently happening, I need to put myself forward and be the sacrificial lamb, in a
Mm.
way, And I don't know, the package, how do you put yourself forward? What is it? Is it a common? Because what then I have noticed among Africans is that, is somebody talking?
I said she should mute so that the playback.
Okay, is it on my side?
Yes, please mute when she's talking so that the playback. I'm trying to mute myself as well.
I don't know. I don't know if I know how to do this.
The
I
mic,
don't know.
the mic.
Yeah, I'm
If you
trying
press on
to.
the mic.
Are you sure it's from my end? Okay.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Thank you. So the issue is this, right? Mm, the context and the way we Africans, while we are becoming individualistic, and then you will find that there's actually now a huge gap amongst what we claim to be an African, your principle, your Ubuntu, and all sorts of things. The question is this: while we are taking time in solving our own issues, will there ever be a generation that basically says, okay, fine, I'm going to put myself forward, right? It ends with me. I'm not sure whether you guys can hear me. Okay. So the context is this. When you look at it and you say, you look at other races people, and I don't want to be bringing other races into the picture, but without mentioning which particular races, some races, and I've seen it even with the Afrikaner in South Africa. I'm sure Olivia knows very well, your organization like AfriForum. I mean, there are colleges, there are universities, these people, they contribute, guys. These people contribute. It's not even a race issue now. It is just becoming a group ideology, right? So at what point do we now start seeing this amongst the darker skin tone? Because instead of actually looking at community interest, I see people just moving out of their countries, and saying, no. I'm tired of this whole community way of looking at things. I'm just going to do it for me, and if it does continue and the next generation take over, well, good for them. I mean, the way the Black community speak these days, as if we are not having kids, We move and we our kids will look after them, whatever they will have to deal with, the consequences of their future and things like that. But when you look at the other races, they are thinking about the tomorrow.
Yeah, let me say something as well. Okay, are you done? Can I say something? Okay, let me just say something before you go on. I will also say that other races, I think they travel more. Sorry to say, the white race travels more, PH, but I don't know. I feel they travel more. I don't think it's a race thing. I would think it's an individual thing, and I would think it's a personal thing, because most people, some people that traveled or that plan to travel, some of them don't have the mindset to stay away forever. Some people will still tell you that they are doing things back home, that when the time they feel the time is right, they want to go back. That's what I can say in that regard. I know that sometimes now it's now looking as though we, the Black race, we are being much more selfish than before. But also remember that we we are the disadvantaged race in the whole world. Anyway, that's a case for another day. However, most people that travel tell you that a lot of our friends that are from Nigeria, they will tell you that no, we are going back so and so time. We have a time frame. That's how it's been back in the days. And some people are, if you watch the internet space, you will see people that are they are calling it Jakbada. Like Jakba is going and coming, and Jakbada is coming back. So a lot of people are doing that move. I feel as though life's journey is usually a personal one. You know where you are at in your family and what you tend to achieve and all that. That's what I think. But what you're trying to say, if I can contribute, I agree with you in the sense that wherever you are you at home or are you in your country, try and do something. Now, life, being home is not the only way you can make sure that home is fine. You can do whatever you can from anywhere, just like I'm doing with my platform. That's all I have. Even if I'm in Nigeria, I don't think I can do much because I'm not in politics. Yeah, I may be contributing tax if I'm working. Yeah, that's all. But it's all about doing something, making sure that you're doing something that will show that your heart is home at the end of the day. That's what I think. Beauty, what's your take on that?
Yeah, Olivia, I get where she's coming from, and I also get you. I have nothing much to say really in regards to that. I quite understand your point of view.
Okay, sorry, PH. You can go on. It's a conversation.
No, I would like to urge other people to come and contribute.
All right. Thank you so much. So what's your take? Let me just say, what's your take on the hospital train. Do you know that there's a hospital train? Have you used it
Yeah,
before? Have you used
I've
it?
always known about it.
You've always known. Have you used it before?
Yeah.
Is it like the normal government hospital, or I don't know?
No. It's not a government hospital per se.
It's like a
But
mobile
remember,
hospital.
it's a mobile hospital. What normally happens is this. There will be a need far, more rural village and things like that, right? Where there's a
Okay.
need. If you remember, and I think there's the current premier of Limpopo, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You will notice when she was the MEC at that side, what she used to do is that there will be a program and more like an outreach, right?
Okay.
Where, for an example, remember because of resources and things like that, not everything can, especially surgeries and things like that, and your eye operations and things like that. So basically, what she will do is have a period, you know, have a period where they basically will call experts in that particular field, right?
Okay.
It could be your dentist for that particular day. It could be your optometrist and things like that. To just check. Other
Okay.
people will be your orthopedic surgeon and things like that. But it's not like daily moving train per se. They know
Oh,
where they are going and what projects they are working on, right?
okay. So
But I
it's
mean,
periodical, like it
it's
happens for.
periodical. It's
Oh, okay.
periodical. It's periodical. Most of the time, the doctors, they are actually just professors,
Oh,
experts. Really, they are really, really experts.
okay.
They they are booked in advance, and it's pro bono. It's
Oh,
free services.
oh,
So
okay.
the government will actually even call people in private sector, as expertise most times are found there because of the resources and system.
Oh, okay,
Mm.
okay, okay. I
So they
remember.
come for a part.
Okay. So it's an outreach, like you said.
It's an
Yeah.
outreach. They
So they
already
go to
working on a
different
list.
places. I think those we call it free medical care in Nigeria. Those ones are not being run by the government. The ones that happens once in a while. I don't know if you ever experienced that beauty when you were in my state. I think it used to be run by rich individuals. They'll bring doctors to the community and they will see
Oh
people and
yes, yes, yes,
they
yes.
call it we
Yeah,
call it
I,
free
I know
medical
of I know of the ones where people bring in expertise to like different specialists to like their communities and have
their
elderly
community.
people treated.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe say my
But
husband
there's
now,
this one,
if he has the money, he can just mobilize some friends and doctors
yes,
that are from Nigeria. They'll just
specialists,
go back
yes,
home, see people,
yes, yes,
something like that. That's what they normally
yes.
do. But what PH is trying to say that this one is actually sometimes is mobilized by the government to go and then
It's really
individuals can
it's
now
it's
come and volunteer and
it's quite laudable. Apropos doctor, I don't know if you know apropos doctor. Do you know apropos
yeah,
doctor, Olivia?
yeah, yeah.
He did something similar. I think
The
last
one who
month.
was
He's
doing
done it.
mammogram on women.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, and even
abstinent.
like that. Yeah, they check that. Yes, so it's something similar to that. He's been doing it the last 2 months, back to back.
But
So
the
yes,
good, do you know the interesting part of this
and
one?
it's a lot
If
of people coming out. It's quite a lot of people who come out on these days, to get examined and get
because
services.
people need this care. The
Yes, they
interesting
do.
part for me is that you see her mention that the MEC sometimes mobilizes it. I like it when the government know that
He's
as much
involved.
as
Yes,
yes, I'm as much as I'm maybe okay, some people need these things. It's not in Nigeria, you only see things that the government don't. I keep saying it, unfortunately. That's where our redemption will come from. If the government begins to get more involved and if they see the plight of the people, just like South African government, they love South Africans, honestly, I won't lie. Like I'll call it law, and they have their interests at heart. even if they can now call in experts. Okay, you guys can come and do pro bono, and you see experts. A lot of I remember when my friend was telling me her husband is a physician. He works with a government hospital. She told me that they are going for an outreach. I think it could be something like this, where medical doctors will just come and do their work free of charge and see
Mm.
patients, which makes sense. Thank you so much, PH. I really appreciate you. Okay,
Thank
I
you,
appreciate.
PH, for coming on
Please,
board.
can you
Thank you. We
guys
appreciate.
please thumbs up on the live section, guys, if you're enjoying the conversation, and if you have anything to say, just come and say it. That your contribution is appreciated all the time. Please give us a thumbs up. Let me read some of the comments that people were saying. Somebody said, okay, Esel said the this year is different. She's trying to talk about the weather. Somebody said the highest paid South African pay 40% of their tax towards these free services, and there are people who do not even use government hospitals or any other non-compulsory services like grants. Yeah, that's true. They tax my husband a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. A lot of people are taxing. Yeah. He also said it pains us when we see our pensioners sitting in long queues in hospital with hundreds of foreign nationals who aren't paying tax but cross the borders to come give birth and have surgeries in South Africa. Yeah, that makes sense, of course. That makes sense. Um, Somebody says also we pay 40% of our salaries towards tax to pay for this free service. Of course, that was what PH was trying to reiterate. She's trying to say
Mm.
that those things are due to good tax systems and yeah,
Mm.
and high
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
taxation.
exactly. And that was why she wanted to know what the tax system
Tax
is like in
in
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yes. Mm.
So that's where we told her that, of course, that in Nigeria we are also being taxed. It's just that the problem is that if you watch all those companies like MTN, I remember when people were saying MTN is being taxed hugely. Those companies are taxed. Glow, all those private sectors, banks, they are being taxed. Where is the money at? Where is the money
You
going to?
see,
Are they being used for
exactly.
it's meant to be used for? Um, Nkowazi said in Limpopo, they see 2 million patients from Zimbabwe. Wow, 2 million. That's a lot.
Is that
And
an actual number or is
I don't know where
exaggerated?
you got the number. Who knows? Where did you get that statistics? It could be that there are quite a lot. Who knows? Um, the government of Zim does not care, not paying the bills. South Africans are compromised. Tax hits is I don't know is hard for our people to suffer like. Okay, that makes sense. That makes much sense. That's what she's trying to say. Government from neighboring countries are the most shameless people on, on this earth. Hey, government, they really need to do better. Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily use that, such words, but I would say that other African countries, Africans in general, even South African government
Mm.
can do better because they are doing well enough. But other African countries, their government, really needs to step up. I will say that honestly. Years ago, a pregnant woman could go to the hospital and give birth. Hospital clothes were provided, free blankets, lunch and super milks and bottles for babies. Also, wore hospital clothes. I think they still provide those things. Okay, I don't know. When I gave birth in the government hospital, they in the public in the private hospital, they give those things. And in the government hospital, they still give food, milk to the babies. I know my husband works there, and I don't know about clothes now and blankets. They say we depend on government. That that time they employ that time that time the employed pay through the nose for the poorer and the unemployment to get an education, medicine and houses. Okay, I didn't really comprehend that. However, let me just sorry. Um, Beauty, my dear, we know what you are talking, you are saying. Hence, we fight so hard to make sure that our country, uh, to make sure that our country from okay, to make sure that our country does not decline. What that's what he's trying to say. The
Mm,
way
mm,
Africa,
exactly.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, it should be,
mm,
yeah,
mm,
that's should make sure of that. Honestly, I agree with you. Let's not decline at all because it's possible for a country that was doing well, just like Nigeria, like what we are saying, declined so fast, so rapidly like that. In 1994, the government took a decision also to not disturb the economy immediately because of lessons learned from those who has been freed before us. Yeah, my dear, we are heavily taxed, especially as civil servants. So high that it is equivalent to one person's salary. Mm. Yeah, I know the taxing system in
That's
South
a
Africa.
lot. That's a lot, eh?
40% is a lot.
It's a lot.
40% is a
It's a
lot of
lot.
money that the average, though there's I think the higher you earn, the more you're taxed in the sense that in
Mm,
South Africa, if you have an extra job, maybe you're doing two jobs for some reason, you'll be
mm.
taxed. And if you're within a certain salary bracket, you're also taxed higher. Hi,
Extra. Yeah.
Hi, beautiful Queen of Africa. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much. Um, how much tax do they collect? Is it here in South Africa? Swanky said, how much tax do they collect? In South Africa, 40%, but in Nigeria, do we know? Do we know the percentage?
I'm not sure. And I think in Nigeria it varies from, I think, state to state. I
Yeah,
want to believe.
the government of Nigeria is kind of not that centralized, I would say.
Mm,
Different states
mm,
do their thing depending on the how the states, like Lagos now, I know it will be different from Imo State where I come from, or Edo
mm,
State where you
mm.
come from, or and so on
Yeah.
and so forth. So that's it. It doesn't really have a certain amount. But if you know it, you can tell us on the comment section. Only the premier of Limpopo gave those stats. Oh, okay, okay, there. She said 2 million illegal migrants get health care from Limpopo. Oh, wow. 2 million is a lot. She's trying to respond from the statistics that we asked. She said that the premier, they must have done gotten that
Mm.
statistics from the hospital, people that
So
attend.
that's like annually, right? That number is annually.
Yeah, annually, and that's a lot of, but they won't be only Zims. Remember she says Zim. I'm not sure they will be from Zim alone. It could be from all other, countries.
Yeah, because
Or
they border with other countries.
yeah, I feel
Mm.
those that are much more, those that they share common borders with will be more like
Yeah,
Zimbabwe and other SADCs, Southern Africa.
neighboring countries.
Yeah, so
Yes.
our SADC region as well. There was a case of Zimbabwean pregnant lady who was advised by this doctor to go to South Africa to give birth because it was going to be a difficult birth. Oh, really? Who hey God. Anyway, for just for humanity's sake, if it's going to be a difficult bet, maybe we can just accommodate her. I'm just saying for humanity's sake. But yeah, she never advised the doctor of the issue. She gave birth to the baby, didn't make it, and then they sued the government. Oh, okay. She didn't make it, and they sued the government. That's another thing. She didn't
Was
advise.
it
Apparently, she's saying
was it
that
the lady that didn't make it or the child? I think
okay,
I heard
she
the
didn't make
news.
it at all. She said
Oh,
when she came to South Africa, probably I don't know if they took history or something, but I know the doctors here are always very, very thorough. I don't know
yeah,
what
they
happened.
are. Even in the government facilities, they would
Ah,
ask you questions. They want to get your history, so they know what they're dealing with. Yes, they
in the
always do.
government facilities, huh?
Yes, they
My
do. They
husband
do.
works with the maternity section. They take
Yes,
all those, they do CS, they do all those, huh? They don't blink.
they do.
They take it very seriously. So who
Yeah.
knows what went wrong? I don't think it should be from the doctor's side, honestly, because I know these people. huh,
No,
they
they
can be
do. They
very,
will
very
ask
tough.
you questions. They will
And they
ask
will do
this.
scan,
Yes,
and
they
that's what they
will.
call high risk clinic. If you're high risk and you're already in South Africa and you registered in maybe say you registered in a certain hospital now, they do high risk clinic like for those advanced maternal age and those that are going to have
Yes,
a
yes,
complicated birth. So they check them out very frequently so that nothing goes wrong. Maternal mortality, they don't play with it here in South Africa. They sue.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
apparently she's trying to say that the family of the deceased person now sued the government, you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they
Let,
sued for they sued for negligence. Yes, I heard the news as well. They sued for
Negligence.
yeah, that's
negligence,
true.
and they got paid.
That's
They
true.
got the court awarded them. They got
Easy.
awarded.
PH, do you know about
Yes.
that case?
Yes, 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 yes. I'll tell you this. Ooh,
They
guys,
sue for, they sue for
guys,
negligence.
I know
Yes,
quite
they
a lot
did. They
about
did.
medical
They did. I
negligence.
heard the news. Yes,
Yeah,
they did.
I know quite a lot, obviously, being in the field.
Are you in the
uh,
medical field, PH?
Okay,
no,
you're a
no, no, no,
medical
no, no.
practitioner.
Law, 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 law.
Okay, you are in the legal field. Okay, okay, that
Yes,
makes
Oh,
sense now.
yes.
Yeah. So
So
if she's in the,
this is what is happening. You've noticed, I don't know, Olivia, your husband is a doctor, right?
yeah,
You're saying in public hospital, right?
yeah. He
This is
works
what,
in the tech section. He worked in the public for long. Then he's now into
yeah.
private practice, but he does sections also. Yeah.
This is where the clash, occurs. What
Okay.
happens is that we've got a constitution that says, listen, when somebody arrives at any hospital, right?
Okay.
Any
Yeah.
hospital,
mm,
meaning
Okay.
public or private, right? There is a
mm.
certain level of assistance that they must get, right? That is
Okay.
basically what we will call basic health, certain basic health. We're not talking about um, an advanced medical assistance, no. Basic. Basic so that you won't, I don't know whether I should, you won't be unalived. Because last time Olivia had said, certain ways are not meant for this channel, right? So basically, yes, we've got what we call basic medical services. It doesn't matter where you land as an individual, right? It doesn't matter your nationality. It doesn't matter your status in the country, right? But the fact that you present yourself at this place and it's a place of a health place, right? They need to make sure that you do not pass on, right? And then from there, you can then go to the nearest facility, whether that being a private or you are now on a medical aid. You can now go to your mediclinic, whatever, those typical hospitals. But this is where, because of the nature of our constitution, our things like that, we have specifically where there are borders, right? And I will go back to the Zimbabwean one because the majority of us know that. The Minister of Health, Dr. Aaron Muzwaledi, had indicated, and I'm not sure about the 2 million Zimbabweans and things like that, but he gave stats that said that at the border of Zimbabwe and South Africa, Musina, right? The border area. There's a hospital, Musina Hospital, and it was seeing 75% of pregnant women there were Zimbabwean. So we're talking about one specific hospital, right? 75% of people occupying the
That's a lot.
it's a
75%.
lot. It's a lot, Olivia. And you see, it gets very emotional. It hits you. You look at your payslip, your taxes, and you're thinking, what is going on?
I know.
So 75% Musina Hospital presenting themselves. The majority of them, then, you you remember the standard operating procedure, SOP, doctors,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
to go about, right? When you are presented with a particular case.
Yeah.
Then when they arrive, these individuals, they're literally, to just give you a description, the baby's head is literally on the
Ouch.
ground.
I know. I
You
know.
see what I mean? So the whole learning that your SOP is out of the door, right?
Yeah.
Because now you got to save the health of these two individuals now,
True.
right? They arrive. In South Africa we have I think antenatal, or you attend clinics and things like that. Then you move from a particular public facility
Yes,
depending
you
on your
start
health,
from the
and
clinic. Yes,
you
Yeah,
start
yes.
from the clinic.
Mm.
These individuals, they arrive with nothing on them.
Yeah, no history.
Oh, no,
No
there's no
history,
history.
nothing.
Yeah.
No
Guess what
history.
Oh,
then
No,
happens?
you don't know their medical history.
You
You don't know
don't
if it's
know.
somebody that is having a difficult birth. I know my husband will
Mm,
tell you that patient. Oh my God, I
mm.
know. I understand what you're trying to tell me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Then guess what? The difficulty also become a language issue, right? You're presented with this thing. You can't even communicate with the individual. What do? Baby's head is coming out, right? You don't know nothing about this individual. You ask them, clinic card, things like that.
No.
Nothing. Nothing. So guess what? You help them. Things go wrong. Because let's just be frank. No one can predict the end of life.
At all.
You know?
Not even
You
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 or I.
can't. Guess what then happens? You will think that this person will look at it in the context of, I was being helped. You know? Things went wrong. They don't. They don't. The majority of medical negligence cases are coming from, specifically from Limpopo province, are as a result of such type of incidents.
Oh, from Limpopo.
Then,
Okay.
then, then now let's put the picture of a South African here, who's now going to be double. You know, you were
Yeah.
helping somebody. Today you are paying 32 million rent, to this individual you were trying to help.
Sorry, PH. Let me just say something. Guys, please give us a thumbs up, please, okay? We are not thumbsing up. Did I please? Let's just thumbs up. It's just free, okay? Thank you. Go on, sis.
you know so it's context like that where it becomes an emotional conversation to have. But really, you're helping somebody. You've kept this person in your house overnight, right? I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
giving you
I
that.
understand.
Then
Yeah.
the next morning, things didn't go well, and they're telling you, no, there was negligence. What negligence? Guess what? Somebody will say, if for them to win in court, it would have been negligence. No. Remember, and you can confirm this with your husband,
Yeah.
the majority of it is this. Most medical negligence cases are not won but because of actual negligence. They are won because of record keeping. There's a
Okay.
rule that says that a hospital should keep records, ne? Of what transpired, and from the moment you came in and all sorts of things. Then what then happens is this. You will find out that immediately the lawyer who's on the case, or whoever the staff is collusion now. They're colluding. They steal the records of in a hospital. Then when it comes from before a judge, right? A judge
Yeah.
says, but there's nothing to evaluate. Why? We don't have records, right? And then
Yeah.
goes back and said, based on the fact that there is a rule, record keeping, and you don't have that, I'm assuming that you, the hospital, are negligent.
We are negligent, was
So it's
negligent
not
towards the
actually
patient.
the
Yes.
performance, that is found to be
You
negligent.
know, that's one thing like you are in the legal field now. That's one thing I don't like about law. They don't deal with sentiment. They just use evidence, whatever evidence is before them.
Yes,
That's
the
how
law
the
deals
law.
with facts. Yes,
Yeah,
the
facts
law
and
deals with
evidence. They don't
facts.
every other thing. Hi, Gloria Media. Thank you for joining. Thank you. So I think that's where you're coming from, right? They just, as much as these people, if you want to look at it the whole way, they didn't do right by but for the fact that the evidence that's before the court is that, oh, okay, there was kind of medical malpractice or negligence, then that's it. It's so
As long
sad.
as if the evidence is palpable, the law will favor the other person.
Yeah,
So
especially because medical negligence fall under civil. The standard is far less, right? It's not a
Yeah.
criminal issue here. Where there needs to be nitty-gritty details and checking and also to make sure that somebody doesn't end up in jail. But the issue of civil and medical negligence by its very nature is that where there is a probabilities, right?
Yeah.
The whole giving someone the benefit of doubt. You understand? Because there are no records. So where do we go? We've got a child who has CP, cerebral
Yeah.
palsy, right?
Yeah. Cerebral
Mm,
palsy.
and yes, and then what do we do with this child? And also the human element. I mean, we are still human beings at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
what do I do with this child? It's sad they will never, see adulthood, walk and graduate and do what we expect of a human being, right? So 51%, I'm going to give it to them, you know? So this is the issue. And we need to be, cognizant as Africans that sometimes helping can get you into trouble. And this is where, you start to say, then why not seek in your own country? You know?
Especially if you know that things are difficult. Now you want to,
Mm.
if you want, I feel if it's hectic to come and stress doctors, because I know how it's. I'm not a doctor, but I know that doctors are usually stressed with this kind of thing. It stresses them.
It's
Oh my God. To
Olivia,
have
I have consulted with doctors where some will cry and say, but I was helping.
exactly,
How did
yo.
it go wrong? How did my help end up
oh,
looking like this? You
Ah,
know?
and
And
sorry,
then I,
just to contribute to what you're saying, and because of the oath they take, the hypocritical oath doesn't allow for them to discriminate. So regardless
honest,
of who you is or where you're coming from, the oath makes the oath they
because
took
what is
gives them, yes,
you
the
pledge that you're
autonomy.
here to save lives. Yes.
Yes, autonomy to look after the person. So they have to try their best to save the life.
yeah. Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I'll give Gloria a chance and then, yeah, hear from
All
her.
right. Hi,
Thank
Gloria.
you.
Thank you so much for joining. Um,
Hi everyone. It seemed I came late so because the stream is now 1 hour long. Maybe
yeah,
next time. I
you're
came
kind of
late.
late. Do you have anything to say about what we are saying? Do you
No,
already
me, I'm
know?
lost. So I thought you just started. I'm lost. Let me not say what I don't know.
Right.
I'm lost. It's already 1 hour. Hi, Beauty. Good afternoon.
Beauty, you're muted. You're muted.
Okay. Hi, Glory. Welcome.
Please, guys, give us a thumbs up, okay? Please, guys, thumbs up is just free of charge. Just encourage us and give a thumbs up. All right. So, Beauty, do you have something else to say before we or does anyone have anything to say? Actually, what we are trying to talk about is the how we were just saying a lot of things, but we started from
It's a lot, but it's all
a
within
lot.
the
Yeah.
health sector.
Yeah, it's mainly the health sector. We went to tax, we went to politics, we went to we were, that's how this live stream normally play out. So it's fine. People will just get the lesson at the end of the day. So let me just say something, Beauty. If you have something, just get your thoughts together. Let me just say, when it comes to what PH said about tax, so it depends on the country where you live and or the country's resources. I want to buttress that point. Let me use a country like the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, Dubai, all those, they don't get taxed in those countries, right? Why? Because of the natural resources. Those people have oil. You understand? So Nigeria as a country has a lot of oil that if in I don't know if they decide not to tax even, if not for the fact that people misappropriate fund, misuse fund, they do a lot allegedly, or I will keep saying allegedly, but we know it's true. But anyway, allegedly at the end of the day, allegedly, yeah, or this oil, they drill the oil illegally, and in fact, a lot of anomaly. If things happen the way it's supposed to happen, as much as Nigerians are being taxed, those that are taxable are being taxed. Those are not taxable can still receive help from the government and all these good amenities, facilities, medical facilities, and as much as, let me just say, South Africa, for the fact that we have a lot of oil. We oil in my state, we have oil. Even in my village, Beauty, we have oil in my own village. We have
Only just pH, just so that you know the amount, just so that you know how big we are as an oil nation. Nigeria has the largest oil resources in human resources in oil in Africa, and the fourth largest in the world.
So do you
Nigeria is the
understand?
fourth largest oil producing in the
So
world.
when people are talking about these things, as much as tax is good, though, we can be taxed and we can still get, our basic needs as human beings. But what about the oil? What about the oil money? My village.
I get you. I get you guys. I get you
What
guys.
about the oil they drill for my village? I'm telling you, and with oil pollution, it's just like with oil, people should be helped because their lives are at risk. They get polluted, what's it called, oxygen and all that. So the natural pollution, they should be compensated. Honestly, it's so
You get
emotional.
angry. Huh? It really pushes you on this.
Yeah.
pH, you see
Understand.
the creeks of the Niger Delta is polluted. It's destroyed by the oil wells. Is it CNN or what are the NNPC and the other oil conglomerates in Nigeria have already destroyed our lands. We can't farm, we can't fish. They are in total disaster. And the people, the villagers are not taken care of. All of the money goes to the federal government. And at the end of the day, what do they do?
Do you know that in Port Harcourt, if you in your house, what do they call that thing? Beauty, you that know English, that black thing that settles all over in Port Harcourt.
Yes, in pH, in pH, the air there is polluted, and
Polluted.
yes,
Black.
carbon dioxide is what people are inhaling.
That's that carbon dioxide, right? That's
Carbon dioxide is what people inhale in Port Harcourt City.
So apart from tax, it's good we are taxed though, but the Nigerian government, this is not to criticize you. We love Nigeria and we respect Nigerian government, but the government can do better. They are doing well, they are trying. If you ask them, they'll say there are no resources and all that, but the government can do better. Because do you know that before the discovery of oil, Nigeria was actually doing better than after the
Before
discovery.
oil.
Yes. How ironical. Before the discovery. Can you imagine?
I'm so sorry. I'm sure most I'm sure when because I know with oil and gas, then most Nigerians are moving to your Saudi, Qatar, and UAE, right?
Those that are employed by the oil companies. Those ones can move. But what about the average Nigerians that are there in Nigeria suffering?
No, but I'm sure when you guys look at UAE, Dubai, you're like, really, this could be us.
Do you understand that they drill oil from my own village? Okay, fine, they give us peanuts as stipend that they don't give. It's so ridiculous. When we are in the uni, they were giving us stipend. Let me say they can give a student in uni, they can give you say 1,000 rand or 2,000 rand.
Bursary. Yes, yes,
They called
yes,
it
they do.
NDDC scholarship. Is
Yes,
that enough?
NDDC, yes, to the
Yeah.
oil producing states, all the oil producing
Yeah.
states, they
Niger
got
Delta
that.
Oil Development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
But we fall
monthly?
under NDDC. They give us
Is
those
it
stipends.
monthly? Is it monthly
Imagine.
stipend?
Ha,
Do
na,
they
na, na.
give you money on
Monthly,
a monthly
yes,
basis?
No, not
yes,
monthly. No, no, not monthly. No, it was yearly.
like
It depends on the
quarterly,
scheme. No,
quarterly.
the one I got was yearly. It was 100,000 naira yearly. So I'll just call it like 1,005 or 2,000 yearly. It was yearly. It was just a stipend. It couldn't pay your fees. Maybe it could pay your fees. Maybe it could just pay your fees and that would be all.
You could actually pay your fees because they were state schools, and state
Yes,
schools
it
were
could
not that
just
expensive.
yeah,
Yes,
it could just pay your fees and that was all. It couldn't have paid your accommodation or your feeding or any other upkeep. But it would just, my dad used to just leave it for us that time. That's because it was nothing. We tell my dad, daddy, no, no, don't leave that money, or forget it. He would say, okay, okay, we'll just, so it was
Go
nothing.
work.
Yeah, it
Mm.
was nothing to write home about. So the point is, our governments can do better. That's why I always use any
No,
opportunity.
you guys, I think you've got a lot. You've really got a
Yeah,
great land.
I use every opportunity to to talk about South Africa because I live here. I see things that work. As much as South Africans, yeah, they can have other, better life, but what they have now, is what most African countries actually pray for. Yes,
it's
that's what.
commendable. It's commendable.
Yes, it's
It's
commendable,
commendable.
very commendable.
And you
So
know
that's
what,
why.
PH, can I
Mm.
tell you something? Do you know migrants in the UK will tell you it is difficult to get access to medical health? Like
No, I don't.
you
I,
can't,
guys, I
you have
know.
no
You know
idea.
when people and I'm not even trying to praise my country, right? I've traveled. I've seen potholes in France, and I'm like shocked. I'm like, no. There was a moment I went out with friends, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna die in Paris. You know, we were being driven, and I'm thinking, no, man, this cannot be. You know what I mean? So sometimes, and I'm like, no, I think my grandparents sometimes maybe
No,
for ending up
I'm
in this
telling
place.
you, PH, as much as South Africans complain right now that the government could do better, and we all agree they can actually do better. Do you know migrants in the UK complain a lot about access to health? Like it would take you such a long time. You are on the queue for God knows how long just to
The
get a
Is that the
NHS.
basic. Yes,
NHI?
just to
Is
get,
that the
I am not
NHI?
joking. They complain a lot. Whilst here in South Africa, if your situation or your case is just as serious, they will endeavor that you see a doctor as soon as possible. They endeavor you see a doctor as soon as possible. But there, like from everything I've heard so far, access to health is not as easy as they make it look to the outside world.
I think the story for the NHS, about the NHS is another one, because I will say that, because I think the NHS is free, and because it's just the NHS, they're kind of probably overwhelmed or understaffed, because the queue there is something else. What I hear, the queue, like, if you.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Ollie. The queue is endless. And so it makes it a lot difficult for people to get access to medical assistance. Unlike here in South Africa, yes, the system is overburdened. We can clearly see that. But they still try. They try, especially if you have an emergency, or they perceive you could potentially have an emergency. They'll endeavor to see you in due time or within a reasonable time frame. As a
Mm.
lady on TikTok said she had to travel to Turkey to do a test she had been waiting on the queue in NHS to do for probably longer than 6 months at this point.
Oh.
She had to
I'm
travel to Turkey
wondering.
to get it done. But
I'm
I
wondering,
believe in
Beauty.
South Africa. I believe in South Africa, you will get that same test done within a time frame, at least within a space of 3 months. A space
In
of
South
3
Africa,
months.
if you want a medical aid, you will get it in the next 2 days or that day. If you don't own a medical aid, yeah.
Only, I'm not even talking medical aid now. I'm talking government sector. Within 3 months, you will get it done within 3 months. I don't believe in South Africa it will be anything longer than 3 months. If it's that serious, within a
If
space
it's
of three
serious,
months, you will see a
exactly.
doctor, you will see a specialist. I'm not even joking. You will.
You're
But
right.
we've heard reports where these people complain. I'm not joking. They don't get to see doctors that easily. If you don't come in looking like you're about
Even in Canada,
to die,
actually,
they
not
won't
even in
attend to you.
even in
I'm not
Canada,
saying they won't
not even
attend
in
to you.
UK. I know in
So
America
for
it
what
can be different.
for all it
Le-
worth, for
African
all it
Queen,
worth.
how are you? Thank you for joining. Please, guys, give us a thumbs up, okay? I will appreciate. Okay, please just click on the thumbs up button. We have 40 something people, but the thumbs up are very few. It's just free, okay? Hi, African Queen. Thank you for joining. Let's hear from you, okay? What do you
Hi,
have to
Oli
say?
Oli. How are you today?
I'm good, sis.
I'm
Njani.
great. I'm one of the culprit. I did click the reminder, but I was busy and I was like, oops, I am late. I
Hey,
haven't
hey.
even clicked the thumbs up. I'll do it when I get off
All right, please
the
do. All
line.
right,
Yeah.
please, other people, please give us a thumbs up. Thank you. African Queen will give us when she's done out of the stage. Let's hear from you.
Yeah.
What do you have to say, sis?
You know what you guys are highlighting today? I'm doing an introspection, hearing you guys talking, and I'm like, yes, we don't appreciate as South Africans, but is it enough for us? What is the standard? As you are busy talking with the NHS, here we are fighting for the NHI. It has been approved, but they are telling us that it's going to be integrated in in the
What's
hospital
NHI? Is it the
industry.
integrated medical scheme? That's
Yes, yes, the
interesting.
NHI, that's what they are gonna do. Whether you've got,
Oh,
when you've got a medical aid, you can go to the private hospital. It's gonna be one. Whether you've got medical aid or not, private hospital, they need to give you the treatment or either to attend to you. It is happening now through emergency. If you are in an extremely medical emergency requirement, they can stop at the private hospital even if you don't have a medical aid, and thereafter they look at you and try to make sure that things are better and take you back to the government hospital.
oh,
But that's
really?
with the NHI, that's gonna be scrapped. So people are fighting NHI, especially us who have got medical aid. I'm not fighting though, because I know I've got a lot of families that are unemployed, that are still at school, who don't have medical aid, and they need the best treatment. And with us, when you look in hospitals, I think with the lot of immigration that is happening in South Africa, the government hospital, truly speaking, are overburdened. Something needs to be done there. Yeah, it needs to be done. But I can see when you hear other people talking from other countries, and then I, for one, I pull back and be like, wow. But sometimes it seems as if we sound like spoiled bread. And at the same time, you must remember we've got an information how much of our tax it's collected. Not to say the government is doing us a favor. They are supposed to do that because we are the contributing factor for the money that they are spending,
True,
excluding the one that they borrow that we don't even know what they do with due to the corruption. So that's
true,
what we are fighting mostly.
true.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I feel such. I don't know about the NHI. It may deteriorate the medical sector. I don't know. That's just my opinion as well. If you ask me, but of course, the government knows what because the NHS. I don't know. Anyway, I feel the way things are, it's working at at this time where if you can afford medical aid you go to the private and if you can't you go to the public because remember medical aid schemes are not cheap, they are very expensive. You can be a family of five like us can be paying something like up to 14,000 or more so a month. It's not cheap. So if you have to pay that much then you have to now scramble and be on queue. I don't know. except maybe it's going to help expand the medical practice, maybe employ more hands, um, build more hospitals and more facilities, then yeah, but I don't know. I've heard that NHI for a long time now. That was why I was trying to ask, is it the same one I heard? But I'm sure the government knows what they are doing. But if it will help the way the medical sector in South Africa, I know the public sector is overburdened and I don't know what they will do about it. But the NHI, I don't know I'm trying to say I understand if people are kicking against it. However, I still know that the government, they know what they are doing, so they know the best. And yeah, that's what I think generally. Guys, you're not giving us a thumbs up. Please give us a thumbs up now, eh? Just a
When
thumb.
you look at Oli, the people who are kicking and shouting and becoming angry, as I've said, it's us who have got medical aid, because we know, you must remember, your medical aid doesn't, if it depends on how you utilize it, it doesn't cover
Yes.
you for the entire year. Sometimes run about October and then you've got a toothache, you need to do
Mine is
something.
even depleted now because I did
Exactly.
a couple of tests. Yeah. Yeah.
And you end up going back to the government hospital. So we are having it both ways, because we are selfish and then we don't even want the other ones to come to us, but we go to them when we don't have funds. Because even with the plans that we are taking, medical aid, you need to be strategic when you take it. What do you need every year? To change your glasses, to clean your teeth, all those things. If you are not a sickly person, actually medical aid, it's a waste of time. It's money making scheme, because a lot of money gets debited every month. You calculate it per annum. Sometimes you've never been sickly, but your money, it's gone. It's
African Queen,
gone.
that's not true. Do you know that sickness, you don't know, nobody envisages sickness, it just comes. Because those medical aids, sometimes they have cancer schemes and people can just be diagnosed of cancer, and they have the oncology scheme. I'm not a medical I don't, I'm just trying to say from my own experience, anybody that can own a medical aid is very good, because the response, the way you get medical care is very fast. One time my husband well, he was an accident. I was studying in KZN, and he was here. He was in an accident. It was just him. And of course, if he didn't have medical aid, ambulance just rushed him to a government hospital. Before I came from all the way from Northwest, he was already in ICU and all that. And I'm just trying to tell you, they've already done a surgery on him. They did CT scans, MRIs. Do you understand my point? I'm just trying to say that if anybody that can afford it, it makes sense, because these things, you don't know them. If you have big medical emergency, that's when you know that medical aid is actually worth it. But if you feel you're not sick, yeah, you think you're wasting money. But when you need it, at the time where you need it, you appreciate it. That's what I think. So anybody that can afford it, just go ahead and get it. But if you can't afford it, it makes sense. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
Because
it's for affordability. But I
for the
found it are very unfair to those who cannot afford to be locked outside. They deserve the treatment that we get. I've never been in government hospital. I don't know how it is, but when you've got medical aid, you know, oh, I've got funds. I want to go and lie in hospital sometimes and be like, hey, it seems as if I've got piles. Can you just operate me? You just invite even things that are not there, because you're like, it's October right now. I've never been in hospital. I've changed my glasses last year, so this year I can't change my glasses. Yes, we with us as women, you go for pap smear, you go for those things, but they
Mhm.
don't cost as much as what we get debited every month. And here in South Africa, Oli, I don't know whether you're aware, there are two best cancer hospital, and they are government hospital. Even people with medical aid goes there.
Which
Wow,
one?
wow.
Which hospital?
That's nice.
Yes, the Maklenge one, the one that is Johannesburg, and the
Okay.
one that
Hmm.
is in Pretoria.
Oh,
Two
Oh.
of
that's
them, they
beautiful.
are very best. And it's government hospital. Even people who have got medical aid, they will tell you that if you want by God's grace, to succumb cancer and ring that bell.
It's
The
a level
hospital,
3 hospital. It's not a level 1 hospital. I think it's a tertiary hospital, right?
yes, yes,
It's
that's
a level
true.
3 hospital.
But they
I
are
would say, yeah, all hospitals in South Africa are good, but it depends on the staging. Like now, this level 3 hospital, they're not about to just, see normal patients. They are seeing advanced oncology patients,
yes.
renal patients, all those kidney transplants, heart transplant, all those things. That's where you see the consultants and the consultant doctors, the ones that teach the consultants. So, yeah,
And then they still have those students that are so dedicated, who are still having a passion and the love of what they are doing. That's why they always get those good results.
wow,
Yeah, but
wow.
we are trying. We'll keep fighting, man.
Yeah, we'll keep we'll keep doing our best as Africans generally. So, Beauty, do you have anything to add? Because so that we'll call it a day.
Not nothing much really. I think the idea is for each and every one of us, from our different African countries, to continue to hold our government accountable, and that's just the truth. We have to continue to hold our government accountable, and I think we don't say this enough. We've come to a point where some of us, are complacent. We almost want to accept anything. No, but at the end of the day, we can't. We can't continue like this. We've got to continue to speak up against the government, continue to hold them accountable, and continue to feel that we can be treated better as citizens. Yes.
True.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah.
PH, do you have something to add to what she said? Is she still there?
Hi, hello.
Hi, PH. Any closing
Yeah,
remark?
yes. Sorry, I am driving, but well, great conversation, ladies. Really,
All
really,
right.
the type of conversation I would prefer to have with other Africans. But
Thank you so
exceptional,
much.
exceptional contribution from everyone else. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Please subscribe if you're not, so you join whenever we are alive again. And thank you so much, African Queen. Do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Oli Oli.
Thank you so much. Oh, two Niger is just joining when we're about to round off. Please guys, give us a thumbs up, okay? We'll be rounding off in the next 10 minutes. Two Niger is just joining. Hi,
Thumbs up
two
the
Niger.
live, guys. Thumbs up,
Thumbs up
thumbs
the
up.
live,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
And Beauties Eden is also a YouTuber here in South Africa. She's a Nigerian. Please join her. Um, Beauty, can you just drop your link so that um we or
I'm not able to do
when
that
she
now.
does something, I'll share it so that we'll also follow
Yes,
her.
yes. When I
Yeah.
do come live, yes, yes.
Please give us a thumbs up, guys. I appreciate it. Okay. We'll be ending in the next say 15 minutes. Let's put it out. Hi to Niger. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
thank
joining
you.
us late, but
I,
yeah, we'll just
yeah,
hear from you.
I know. I just want to just pitch in quickly, and I know you are about to round up. Thank you for having me, and
Thank you so
greetings
much.
to the panelists, the viewers, and the ones on the chat. On Nigerian, because I heard you talking about Nigeria. On Nigerian healthcare, I think the Nigerian government has been like, I don't know what I have to call it Nigerian government, but the Nigerian people have been abysmal, horrible, with the way they treat their healthcare system. And the people are also a little bit, how do I put it, not informed about the issues surrounding it. Then the elites, if you look at the elites, what they do in Nigeria is that they get ill, they go overseas. Some of the worst kind of behavior you expect from any people of any nation. They go there and treat themselves. Even their own leaders go overseas. It's unbelievable stuff. How is it that we allow our own leaders to go overseas for them to go and be operated on by foreigners? This is something that even European countries don't go to each other's country for treatment. This is how
Exactly.
they don't trust each other to throw. They don't. They monitor each other like crazy. Are we? Our own leaders go and open their chests for foreigners to look into. They know more about our leaders than we know of our leaders, and our people don't complain. They don't see it as a security risk. The kind of mumu our people portray sometimes is just remarkable. We act as if we are children, like we are not full-fledged grown people. And yet we are online here. When you see some Nigerians acting like lions on the internet, it's like, why don't we do that with our own environment? Why don't we own our own healthcare system? Nigerian government borrow money every day, billions upon billions they are borrowing to for this subsidy and for the other subsidy. I said, why don't you just take one of that billion and build a
Pump
world-class
into the
hospital,
healthcare. Exactly.
a world-class hospital, so that no politician goes overseas for treatment anymore. No elite have any excuse. 1 billion. There is nothing that hospital will not have, and it will radiate its excellence to other this in healthcare system in the country. But no, they won't even do that. They will just be running overseas to India, to China, to not even China, France, and this. Our president every time is in UK and France for treatment. That for me is a disgraceful thing. Our leaders are dying overseas probably more than they are dying in
All
their
of
own.
them, none of them, buy none of them on life in Nigeria.
Shameless,
None of them.
shameless situation that we are in. And man, we have issues on that front. I would say we seriously have issues, because there are certain things we accept that is totally unacceptable for foreigners. It's like, why do we stay overseas and we don't see these things, and then our leaders do it, we just accept it as if it's normal behavior? It's completely abnormal behavior. We should be completely concerned that when we see our leader getting on a plane and our elders, security chiefs, going on foreign trips to go and get treatment, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they will govern for you? You wonder why your country is useless. They are not governing for you. They are governing for foreigners. But I just thought I should say that our healthcare system, if we are talking about healthcare system, is abysmal from top to down, and our elites are also part of it, because they are complicit in this. They are very, very good at running overseas for treatment. They don't want to put very good healthcare system in Nigeria. They do have some good hospitals. I'm not going to say they don't have.
Yeah, they do. The renal hospitals, the some of these places where they do all these transplants we see online, all these oncology centers, they do. But
They do. But when stuff hits the fan, they run overseas. And the same thing they do with education too. They kill the education system, and when their own children want to educate, they go to Princeton, they go to Oxford, they send their other children overseas.
Sorry to interrupt you, brother. I think we do actually have some very competent hospitals in Nigeria, but the issue boils down again to security. Our leaders are scared to be treated in Nigeria. They rather go abroad to get treated, because of security issues. They fear for their lives.
In the
they fear. They fear that they could get killed. They could get unalived, because they know. We all know that Nigerian politicians are not particularly the most loved, so they fear for their own security too. So I believe one of the reasons they travel abroad to get treated is for security purposes.
That's another mumu behavior now. If you are sound enough, you should be able to get sufficient security in your own country. Anybody knows.
And when you leave your country in a state of insecurity, what do you expect?
Exactly. The national security posture is extremely weak. Most
when
African countries
the whole country
are weak.
Is not secured enough for and that you fear for your life at your most vulnerable moment. When you're sick, of course you're vulnerable. What does it tell you as a leader? That you failed. You failed big time.
We are the most undefended people on the face of the earth. The most. Nobody. See, do you know 5 African countries in the north have as much security personnel as the bottom 40-something countries that are black? 5 North African countries that are not black have the same amount of personnel in their security forces than the bottom 40-something. So it tells you the black nations, something is seriously wrong with them. It's like their head, something is seriously wrong with them. They don't have their head screwed on. And when I started complaining about this 2 years ago, when I discovered this data, I was like, what is wrong with us? Why do we just allow all these things to just remain like this? Who is securing us? No, see, right now, most of our countries, the people that are securing them is not us. So they are relying on foreigners to secure them. And this is why they don't govern for us. They govern for those foreigners. They are not governing for you. And if you don't notice these things, you are not going to know. Yeah, why would you know? You just see your leaders being corrupt. But the truth is that any nations that want to say they own themselves, you have to be able to secure yourself. Who do you see Israel begging anybody to come and secure it, or Iran? No, you have to secure yourself. But we don't. Our healthcare, everybody, we are relying on other people. Our education is on other people. Everything is for other people to do for us. So we as a people, as citizens, I'm included because I'm overseas too. We have to start remembering that this is our land, though. If we don't do it for ourselves, some other people will come and take it. Like the Red Indians lost their own, the Aboriginals lost it, the New Zealanders. We don't own this land. No, God didn't say we have to be here. If we just take it for granted, we will lose it. Because if I was the person on the other side and I feel like I want this land, I would take it.
True.
I would take it. Why wouldn't I take it? If when the people that they are mumu, they can't wake up to their responsibilities. It's just what it is. And for me, the healthcare system is a dangerous one because our leaders go overseas all the time for treatment. So it means they are compromising their own security, the national security of the entire country, by doing that. How can you feel safer in London than you feel in your own country? That is wrong-headed thinking.
Yes, that's the actual point. They feel safer abroad, actually.
Safer in London, in America. Even in South Africa here. A lot of, them come to all these hospitals in Joburg, in Cape Town, to do some open heart surgery, all those things. They feel safer. Honestly,
it's a disgrace.
It should be concerned. We should be concerned to Nigeria. You're very correct. We should. And do you know the problem with Nigerians? We are so complacent. Have you people noticed that?
We don't know. We are used to it. That's what we inherited. We just saw the leaders doing what they do. We don't know. The people don't understand that, oh my God, this guy going overseas is dangerous. If the British Prime Minister or American, can you imagine the American president going to Germany for Germany, their allies are part of NATO. American president go to Germany for treatment. People are like, no. Because they are going to be worried for the national security of the country. That is the number one.
Ollie, please Ollie, read that comment by African Queen.
She says, and all the Nigerian qualified doctors are all over the world because the government can't build conducive environment to work.
That's true.
To work.
About 3 years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago, our Nigerian government came out that they want to bring doctors from overseas. Do you know their idea?
Imagine.
They want to bring Oyibo doctors. I was like, how do you have so many Nigerian doctors overseas?
Oh my God.
Your priority is to bring Oyibo doctors.
Oh, a lot of doctors. A lot.
The kind of mumu some of our people.
Somebody said mumu behavior and she laughed. It was funny to
the mumu wear trouser and they put the belt tight and they refuse to change. It's like, how do you have thousands of doctors, Nigerian doctors overseas? Your first instinct is to bring Oyibo doctors to Nigeria to come and work.
My brother, it's like saying how did we scrap our old national anthem and adopted the colonial national anthem in 2024
in a country that exports music,
how did we, because the national anthem, the one we grew up with, it was written by a Nigerian. How do you scrap that and then go back to adopt Nigeria We Hail Thee by the colonial masters
song?
How do we do that in 2024? How is that even allowed? How is that permissive?
I tell you what is going on in the heads of our elite class. They are crazy. They are not us. These people have been so brainwashed during the colonization of Nigeria. Then they handed power over to them. Their children. They think they are British.
I heard our president said it's actually his priority to change the national anthem. It is my priority. It is my priority.
Priority to change national anthem in a country where you have people that are singing songs that they are singing all over the world. You can't even bring people from the whole entire country to come up with an authentic song.
Exactly. You know how South African national anthem is?
Timi Dakolo's One People, One Nation. Have you heard that song?
No.
That song ought to be our national
anthem, just like South African national anthem.
That song ought to be our national anthem. That song encompasses everything it means to be Nigerian. That song is well put together, but no, it was written by an ordinary Nigerian. It's not acceptable.
Man, our mumu, this is some of our mumu. Sometimes, there was a time when I look at every Nigerian elder, I just want to curse all of them. Because I just feel like, what kind of mumu does this to the people? The level of mumu is unbelievable. Like, just within a week, they passed that national anthem. These same people are willing to go overseas for treatment. These same people are willing to send their children over. They are crazy. They are completely mad.
Behavior.
I can't.
Behavior.
You can't call it anything else other than pure madness. Because they go overseas, they see how other people behave. They pretend that they come to Nigeria and act as if it's different for us. No country in the world, self-respecting country, will allow their own leaders to be going overseas for treatment. Will not be able. They can't even rename their own country. Nigeria. We can't even rename Nigeria. These crazy leaders that we have, this elite class, because you know what they will tell you? Why should we? It's not necessary. It's just a word. And when you tell them, why are you wearing that colonial headgear as a lawyer, where they wear those white headgear? Like, oh, it's just a headgear. It's a uniform. It's like, what is wrong with these people?
Do you know? To Niger, this is one thing.
Oli, can you respond to Nokwazi? Respond to the question.
It's English. Do you know that's why I like sorry, to Niger, just hold your thoughts. That's why I like South Africans. They pride in their culture. I always say it, if you know me, understand. They pride in their culture, they pride in their language, they pride in anything that has to do with them. They pride in it.
It's really strange, isn't it? Because Nigerians, in terms of culture, they still manage to hold on, like the Yoruba culture, Yoruba, Ijo, and they have different cultures. And even our National Assembly, I think it's one of the only National Assembly in the world where you see the people, the representative wearing their traditional clothes to their National Assembly. They don't wear suits and all to National Assembly.
Those are beautiful, very beautiful clothing.
Yeah. So Nigerians, so in some aspects, they hold on to the Nigerianness that they are, but in other areas, they've completely lost it. It's like unbelievably deep. When you tell them why, like if you just ask some of our leaders, why would you change your national anthem to that of a British woman? To them in their head, they don't see it. It's like they don't even see the importance that there is something to be. You have to use your own national anthem that authentically written by people from that country, because
by Nigeria.
By
the
Nigeria.
The president says it is his priority. Didn't you get that?
Bring a British woman song back.
You don't understand. This thing has been a mindset thing. Let me give you people an instance. I mentioned it earlier that my dad studied in France and he came back to Nigeria to do his NYSC. And he said that when they were in camp, those that studied abroad, we are placed in the hotel, and the others in the. Can you imagine? You don't tell. It's not today something that this thing started in Nigeria. Those that studied abroad, or international students, if you studied in the UK, whatever country, you stay in the hotel, not in camp. They bring you with private this thing, and you go back. Other students are. Do you want me to add my dad now? It's not even funny. So this thing has started right from time in Nigeria, this colonial mentality. You can imagine
deep. It's really deep.
In the 80s, this was in 1980. International students will stay in NYSC orientation camp. Those that studied abroad will be in the hotels. They will bring them with the bus after morning drills and all that. They take them to camp. That they spend all their orientation days in camp. How? Wow. Why?
Why? We heard about the Bobrisky one now. That's what happens in Nigeria. They send them to prison. They go to lodge and go and chill out, and then they come out and say they spent time in the prison. The entire system has been completely cannibalized, and it's slowly, and before you know it, it's like the way I describe it is like one immoral act after the other. No one person thinks they are destroying the country, but just by one immoral act after another has led us to where we are now, where the country, a country of about 200 and something million people, is making do with 5 gigawatts of electricity. 5 gigawatts. When a country like Iran that is under sanction, nobody wants to trade with them. America put so much sanctions on them for 40 years now. They can generate 70 gigawatts of electricity, and they have about half of our population. It tells you that our people have just completely lost their mind. The level of brainwashing that our people are going through in terms of their national interests, we are not even allowed to it. Our national refineries are not working. We are not complaining. We, instead of to say, you know what, that protest that they are doing, they could choose one thing and say, you know what, if you don't get our 4 refineries online, we are not going to leave this place. Watch what the government will do. The government will have to get it online. If you say electricity, if you say security, Nigeria is losing about $50 billion every year because of insecurity. 50 billion.
Exactly. Because
What is
investors are no more there.
exactly?
Most investors.
So think about it now. What is more of an economic investment than to invest in your security then? Because there's nothing you can invest in that will give you much returns of $50 billion a year than the Nigerian security. But you see the Nigerian leaders doing it. And what is his name? This lady, Najatu. I think during the election, she said she spoke to the current president, and the current president told her that if he tried to fix the security in the country, that he will be killed. That's what she said. The current government told her. So you see the situation we are in that country, and our people don't know. The markers are there. You can see the signs. You can see that these leaders are not governing for you. Nigerian economy should be going towards 1 trillion right now. But this government came in and sabotaged it. They just came in and just said, you know what? I'm going to find a way to stop this. And they went and floated our currency. Where by the time you floated the currency from almost $500 billion economy, it went down to $200 something billion in 1 year. And that man is still in office. If that was in the UK, that prime minister,
Come down. Sorry, Daniel. Can you add yourself to the stage? He's saying, what's he saying? He's saying they will not connect their mic. Add your mic or something. Yeah, then you say what you want to say quickly. Yeah. So, it's a pity. To Niger, what is the way forward?
I think the way forward is very simple. I've always said it, like all these protests that people are doing, you have to learn. Our people, they learn the wrong lessons all the time. If you look at NSAS protest, they succeeded in what they wanted. But if you hear Nigerians talking about it, you think they failed. They disbanded the NSAS, the SARS unit.
They actually did succeed. They actually did succeed.
Yes, it is succeed. The government considered to everything they wanted before they even killed anybody at Lekki. It's because they started demanding the retired as a Buhari to leave office. That's when the whole thing went out of control. But they got what they want. And what they should have learned from that was when you ask for specifics, you are more likely to get it. When you say end bad governance, what does that mean?
That's vague.
And you stand on business.
Yes.
To Nigeria, it's not just to ask, but it's to stand on business.
Stand on it and say, you know what, our security forces that you promised, or the current government promised in Chatham House that they are going to recruit into our security forces, which they are not doing now. I say, you tell them the security forces are going to. You say you're going to recruit to protect us. You didn't do it. Our women are getting kidnapped. Our farmers are not going to farm. All the rest is still happening. Why are you not doing it? But do you see all these so-called intelligentsia like Showore and all that demanding this from the government? They are not doing. See, we have to be careful the people we follow in Nigeria. For the life of me, either Showore is complicit or he's not capable enough to understand that if you don't have national security, your nation can't move forward. And he is not fighting on that front. If anything, he is calling the security forces mercenaries. See, there are crazy stuff. When I look at Nigeria sometimes, I'm like, why are these people like this? It's like most of our people are already compromised.
To Nigeria, are you an Ijo man? To Nigeria, sorry, are you an Ijo man?
Why?
Your
I'm
accent,
a Nigerian.
your accent.
No, I grew up in Rivers State. I grew up in Rivers State.
He sounds Ijo.
How can you
Daniel, can you add your mic so that you can come on the stage? If not, you won't be able. I can't add you. It says they will need to connect their mic. So connect your mic. He sounds he's an Ijo man, a well-read one at that.
Yeah, making that one up. I grew up in Port Harcourt though. Maybe that's where you're getting from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in PH now. But this healthcare one, that's why I came in, because I was so upset when because I didn't used to follow Nigerian space that much. But before the election, I started following it, and I keep hearing that our president keep going overseas. I was like, why are these people letting their leaders go overseas? What do they think is going to happen?
I think that's something I would discuss in the next video. Why do our leaders prefer to, instead of build our hospitals, just like South Africa? Sorry to use the late hero Nelson Mandela. He died in this country. You couldn't have heard South Africans saying that President Nelson Mandela was flown out of, at what point, for what, why, how? Exactly. You understand? So why will our own be different, Bikon?
Only can you read what African Queen is saying?
She says, Tinubu said, okay, Tinubu sold out. Tinubu sold out. Can't you guys as a nation make him to step down?
No,
It's
they will just turn it to tribal stuff and turn it to all
That
kinds of.
that's a topic for another day. That's a topic for another day.
Say what you like about South Africans. That's one thing that people often say about South African. This is that they tend to be more conscious of their national. I don't know how to describe it. In terms of their national image,
national integrity.
they tend to be more conscious about it. Like
Their
if you look at the
national
South
integrity.
African government now, what they are doing around the world, like taking Israel to International Criminal Court, you will never see Nigeria doing that. Nigeria they behave like boy for other people constantly. Even if they have professionals everywhere in all these major institutions, we don't pull our weight. We just sit there and act as if we're just passengers to everything that goes on. And technically, that's what we are. A nation that
It's
is
sad.
surviving on five
That's
gigahertz
why the
population.
young people should not keep quiet. I think
It should not.
the stage that the people that messed that country up, sorry to say, is the stage of our parents, our dad, them. They messed up Nigeria. You understand? That group of people, although they are still there, being the leaders and all that. But the youth, if we leave ourselves and get older, it's easy to conform to those kind of behaviors if we just keep quiet. Oh, whatever, it's just me and my family. I don't even care. Yes, it's bad enough that most people are, migrating out of the country, but let's keep using our platforms, our voices, and everything to speak against these ills of our country, Africa in general, Nigeria, and other African countries. To Niger, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Please join us more often. Okay, I
Yeah,
really
thank you.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
sometimes I get busy. So this
I
healthcare
know,
will
I
not
know.
take a
And I
That
know the
it would be
time
nice to
difference
have you.
in the
Yes.
US and here. I think he's in the US or something. I know the time difference, but yeah, join us more often.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate. Daniel, I couldn't add you, my dear. I don't know what happened. You didn't add your mic. He's saying I can't add you, and I'm running out of time. I need to get my daughters. We'll come back tomorrow and talk about the healthcare thing. Let's come back tomorrow, guys. Okay. And I'll come back tomorrow. Let's come back same time tomorrow. To Niger, thank you. Please join us tomorrow. To Niger, will you join us tomorrow? So we'll discuss this. It's very passionate. I know you're very passionate. If you can,
Yes,
I will
Nigeria has so much to unpack. It
and a
has a
Yeah,
lot of
lot to unpack.
as well.
yeah.
Please
Sometimes I get distracted by shiny objects. So, but if I'm not, I will be here.
Please don't
So,
join us tomorrow. Let's talk about the healthcare and our leaders, why they don't want to fix that country's healthcare. It's really
yeah,
And
concerning.
hopefully we can get perspective from other Nigerians,
And
Yeah,
yeah.
and
we
other
Let's.
can
and
get
South Africa to
perspective.
compare it. I'll
Yes,
compare it to
yes,
things I know, and you compare it to things you know, and you compare it to things you know out, and we'll
Yeah,
take it up from there. Yeah, please
yeah.
join us tomorrow. Thank you
you
so
too.
much, everyone.
Thank you.
Please give us a thumbs up before you make your way out of here. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate. I was disappointed when Tinubu sanctioned Nigeria while he can't do the same with the West. You don't know. You don't. Hey, African Queen, you don't know. According to you don't know. Anyway, thank you, Daniel. Please join us tomorrow again. I don't know. I couldn't add you. It's saying I can't add you because you did not click on your mic. If you don't click on your mic in the studio, you can't be in the stage.
Come in. Yes.
Yeah, you can't come in. So that's what's going on. Maybe join us tomorrow, okay? Everyone, join us tomorrow, guys. We'll be here same time tomorrow. And yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining.
Oli. Thank you.
Please,
It's been,
thank you.
it's been quite an interesting topic.
Yeah, it
And thanks
was.
to everyone that came in,
Thank you, everyone that joined. Okay,
Yes.
please give us a thumbs up. If you watch later, thumbs up. Okay, we appreciate. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.